We're gonna fire it up. We are gonna show you how much energy our single burner induction stovetop uses to boil water and cook eggs. Hopefully this gives you a better idea if you have a setup like this or you're thinking about a setup like this on how to use it. Before we get to cooking with George, we're gonna take a look at the electrical system. Our basic setup is two 100 amp hour lithium ion batteries. Over here we have our charge controller for our solar coming in, and then down in the bottom we have our 2000 watt inverter. This is all professionally wired, not done by me. So far, the setup has performed really well for us. Welcome to Cooking with Giorgio. It's George or Gio, but you have to do the thing. It's Italian. Yeah. Giorgio. All right, for our first test, we are gonna boil 32 ounces of water. How much energy does it use from our battery bank system to boil the water, and is that sustainable? Why 32 ounces? You can make plenty of coffee, and it's plenty to make up a pasta dinner for the night. Let's go over the application we use to monitor our solar. This is a Victron Connect app, kind of an industry standard. Most people have this with their solar hookups. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but this is what we have. So up here you have your state of charge. Oh, hit them with that 100% dance. Yeah, honestly, the battery at 100% makes me feel really good. Here's your current. Right now, there's no negative symbol next to it, so it is 2.5 amps. Down here you have your power at 36 watts. Consumed amp hours, this resets depending on the settings to show you how many amp hours you've used. And then down here, time remaining is pretty cool. That would be like a 1 day or 5 days, depending on how much power you're pulling. And you will see that fluctuate as we start the experiment with the induction stovetop. But right now we're plugged in, so it says infinite. App and clock ready to go. Induction's on. So as you can see, the water has started boiling. It's a little late on the clock, so we're just under 8 minutes, I would say. And this is obviously going to depend on some of the cookware you're using, but we started around 99%, got it down to 94%. That means it took about 5% of our battery. So current right now is just at negative 0.28, 0.29 amps. This is because our inverter is on, so it's still pulling a fair amount of power just to be ready to plug a cord in the wall. And then you see our time remaining is just going up and up and up because we're not pulling this huge load on the current anymore. Now we are gonna cook. Well, bam! Frying up 2 eggs, very similar to the water experiment because we're keeping the burner at around the same draw. Now it's just a matter of how much time are you going to take. For the eggs, well, not just eggs, but California vegetable breakfast burrito, it took about 3.5 to 4 minutes. So we only used about 2 to 3% of the battery. Now, we had 200 amp hour lithium ion batteries. So if you have 200 amp hours, let's say we err on the side of more, so 3%, that would be about 6 amp hours of battery. Now, depending on where we are with sunlight, that could take us about 30 minutes to an hour to replenish. Welcome to the roof. We have 200 watt solar panels up here to bring that power back into the van. As I said before, along with the alternator charger, which will charge the batteries while we're driving. Now, eventually the cooking becomes math. If you look back to the boiling water and we leave our induction on a 5, and it's drawn about 72 amps. We know around 8 to 10 minutes took away 5%, all right? Now, if you know that your meal is gonna take 15, 20, 30 minutes to cook, because you gotta go meat, then you gotta go rice, then you gotta fry up some veggies, you can see how that could be 5, 10, 15, 20, or 30% of your battery. That is pretty significant if you're going into the evening, let's say dinner, because then we know we're gonna draw with our fridge at night and we're gonna draw with our fan. Now, those are low draws, but we're gonna wake up and the battery is gonna be fairly low. And that's when it starts to become a little bit of a juggling act. But that is fun. Sometimes those principles and trying to work around those constraints are what makes it fun. And the fact that we can get power from driving and from the sun to be able to cook our food, that's just cool.